Turning to an important story that may have been flying below the radar. Donald Trump's Justice Department asking Congress formally for sweeping new emergency powers. They're citing coronavirus as the justification. The DOJ wanting the ability to ask judges to detain people indefinitely without trial during, quote, emergencies, and also being able to ask judges to pause the typical statute of limitations. That is, of course, the limit on how the government can do prosecutions. The powers would cover cases during, quote, pre-arrest, post-arrest, pre-trial, trial, and post-trial procedures. That is a gigantic swath of the criminal justice system. These are very significant demands, which, whether you've heard about them yet or not with everything else going on, actually show you a bit of a preview of how this administration, this government wants to basically invoke the pandemic to alter your constitutional rights. And you need a public hearing to address something like this. The lawmakers obviously won't necessarily have a chance. What would have been Bill Barr's first appearance, for example, before the House Judiciary Committee just this past week has been delayed now, quote, indefinitely because of the very virus that they're using to argue for these powers. Also, DOJ rules now say those caught intentionally spreading the virus can also be charged under, get this, terrorism laws. I'm joined now by Maya Wiley, a former counsel to the mayor of New York City and a former civil prosecutor. Maya, your reaction to this story, which people hearing it right now might say, wow, that sounds really big, and yet it hasn't gotten a lot of attention because we're dealing with a pandemic.
It's certainly really big, and I think Senator Rand Paul may have something to worry about in terms of a terrorism charge. But it's that serious. We are talking about some of the most sweeping powers that our founding fathers absolutely enshrined in the Constitution. Habeas corpus is what we call it. It is explicitly in the Constitution of the United States. Underneath it, of course, there are lots of statutes and rules and procedures that we've put in place. And what Bill Barr drafted, and part of why it is such a shocking attempt at a power grab, is it's not just limited to this particular pandemic or moment in time. What the letter asked for was any disaster, any emergency. What's an emergency? Who defines that? And what would be essentially blocked would be any person who is arrested, not just whether you've already been convicted, but you've just been arrested and you might not be brought before a judge for who knows how long under the way it's framed. It's simply astounding.
What does it reveal to you that of all the things that could be done right now, the government's playing catch up, this was something that Bill Barr apparently rushed out?
Well, so a little bit in the reporting, because I want to be fair to the Justice Department, that some of what the spokesperson for the Department of Justice said was that Congress had asked for some guidance on what the Department of Justice may need to think about in terms of this very serious emergency. It is an emergency. There's no question. Courts are legitimately struggling with how to do social distancing, how to have a safe space and not spread this virus by going through regular court business. And we have seen federal courts doing just that. So I think that it's not that they started it, it's that they went so far above and beyond any powers that actually made sense in terms of balancing public safety and the rights of our people, the rights of residents, the rights of people who may not be citizens but have every right to due process in our courts. That is something that we're seeing being eroded around the world right now, and we can't let it happen here.
A really important perspective. You know your way around the Justice Department, and it's a story we wanted to stay on even with everything else happening. Maya Wiley, thank you. Hey, I'm Ari Melber from MSNBC. You can see more of our videos right here, or better yet, subscribe to our YouTube channel below. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate that.